Hey, stamping friends, this is Robin with Stamp with Dr. Robin. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in beautiful, hot San Diego, California, where it is 90 something. I haven't even been out again since I went on my walk early this morning because it was just too darn hot. Anyway, sorry I'm a little late getting on. I pushed some button wrong and it did weird things, but here we are. So what's up and going with Stampin' Up this month? The exciting thing is starting midnight Mountain Time on September 3rd, which is Wednesday, just a couple days away. Everybody can order from the new catalog. Yay, new catalog. New catalog. So that's pretty darn exciting. Let me find a place to put this. Next up is, and if you don't have a catalog and you're not working with somebody already, a demonstrator already, let me know and I can send you one. Also have a paper share going with all the papers in the new catalog plus most of the papers in the new online exclusives. For $45 you get a quarter of each pack of paper, which is a lot of paper. A lot of paper. If you want to see what it looks like, I posted a picture of most of them. You can't see all of them because they wouldn't all fit in the picture, but last week we went over bit by bit what's in that paper share, so let me know about that. There's still lots of online exclusives and new things in Last Chance that you can go look at now. I'm also got some upcoming classes. I've got one this Friday at the Oasis Center in Rancho Bernardo, and we're going to make Rosh Hashanah, which is Jewish New Year cards. And I've also got on October 3rd in the afternoon, we're going to make some fall cards. So that should be a lot of fun, and you can just go on, look up Oasis San Diego, and then search by my name. That's probably the easiest way to find it. And then next month's class is going to be September 28th here, and I'm going to do a makeup on October, I believe it's 10th, it's a Friday if you can't do that. And we're going to be using Peaceful Garden, which is great because Peaceful Garden is also what the Papercraft Collective design team is using for our September rewards. So let me put you down so you can see this beautiful paper. So this is what our Papercraft Collective design team has put together for September, and these are 7 designers, all great Stampin' Up demonstrators. And if you spend $50 before tax and shipping with any of us in September, you're going to get 7 video tutorials to tell you how to make these beautiful products. And what I can show you is the one that I did. And these are all from the Peaceful Garden suite. This is the one I did, and it's a fun fold that stands up. Probably easiest to see it like that. And I use a lot of different products from that suite, and I also did it as a Hanukkah card because I thought it would be just so pretty as a Hanukkah card too, using the, I think it's Miracles of Hanukkah online exclusive stamp set that's still available. But otherwise they're the same. But the only way to get that tutorial is to spend $50 with me this month. What else is new? I think that's it for what's new. So let's get into making our card. Hi, Roz. And whoever else is watching, I don't see any other names popping up, so say hi so we can say hi back to you. So this is the set that I'm going to use today. It's called Gingerbread Man. And the cutest thing to me about this is how, first of all, there's 18 different little die things that go with it, including, I haven't even used this. We got a little like saying bubble here. This makes kind of little peppermint on a stick. This makes some candy canes. We've got gumdrops. We've got, you know, the hat, the scarf. So all sorts of things that can go with your little gingerbread man. But the coolest thing is this die that cuts out an entire gingerbread man that's can be a card. Just like that. And that's what we're going to be using today. So I'll just put that over here. But isn't that adorable? I just think it's so cute. And you can put all these different faces on, like the little winky one, just the little smiley one. And it has some cute little sentiments too. So let me show you the card that we're making using that little gingerbread man. And the card part is actually just the man. So this is not mounted on a card separately. I decided, you know what, I don't need more than that to write Merry Christmas or whatever I'm writing in there. And I did forget to stamp something, but I did bring out something for stamping this time. And you will notice on here this paper. Where did this paper come from, you ask? This is from the Christmas Tags and More 6x6 inch paper. And this is how it comes. It's in the front, I believe. I'm not allowed to show you the inside of the catalog just yet. But I believe it's page 15. Yeah, page 15. And a lot of people miss this whole package. But with the package, you get 8 pieces of each of these. This is really useful and cute. So you can see that all you need to do is, oh, I can show you, I made a card with that. If I can find it. It's a mess on my desk right now. Here's my card with it. And see, they've got these pretty cards that with matching envelopes that you can just easily put together a card. And there's the back. Thank you, Roz, for sharing. This is the piece that we're using, and the back. And then it has 2 pieces each of these little punch outs that you can use. So this is just a really cool little set of DSP that, like I said, I think a lot of people missed because it's kind of just in the front. So let's go ahead and make this card. So the first thing that we're going to do is get our little gingerbread man out and give him a little stamp. Now, I actually put the little smiley faces on here already. So this big guy comes, it already has those little, can you see those little, it's easier to show on here. And I just added the eyes. Now, I found it quite easy to cut this out first and then stamp it. So that's what we're going to do. So we got our little embossing buddy because we're actually going to emboss it in white. So when I'm doing one of these really humongous stamps like this, I put it flat and put the ink on this way. And when I'm using Versamark, since I can't see it, I actually go around a couple times just to make sure. And this is the big F block. And so I noticed too, and then you're gonna press really hard, when I was using this, I'll show you after I stamp it. This is really kind of a little wobbly when I was putting it down because of the photopolymer. So I actually lined it up on here so that it would line up, and then put the block down on top of it, which is not the usual way. So I got my little Dollar Tree box of embossing powder. a little, you know, this is a big stamp set to be working with. So I had to do a couple little, missed a spot there. Let's make sure we didn't miss any other spots. And then I have an old water painter, and that's what I use to kind of flick off things that I don't want before I emboss. I don't worry usually about little teeny things, just the big stuff. I can't even tell if some of this stuff is embossing powder or just the embossing buddy powder. We'll get some of it off. Oops, that wasn't good. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm going to turn on my heat tool over here and let it warm off over to the side so you don't have to hear the full-on loudness of it. And then we'll do a little bit of heat emboss in here. This is still magic to me that we can do this, you know. Before I learned how to stamp, I never really thought about things that were like this on a card and how they got them there. I just thought I don't know, I guess I thought they just printed it on or something. Okay. That is done. And then let's talk about doing the inside part. So what I did to do the inside part is I cut the whole thing again in white, and then I cut it in half just to use half of it. And then because I noticed that when I did this, that this was going to kind of stick out a little bit, and I didn't want that, so I actually went around and trimmed off a little bit. It seemed like it was on the legs more than anything that things were going to kind of stick off a little bit. So I don't know if you can see, there's kind of a little ridge on there. And so I'm just cutting off that little ridge. Now, if you don't mind that little teeny bit of stuff sticking out and you hate to fussy cut, then you don't have to do this step. But I decided I didn't like that little chunky part on his leg sticking out. And then we'll see, I didn't really notice that the arms stuck out so much. You can see it's just a little teeny sliver of, which is the front. Oops, that's gotta go that way. So we've got a little bit of this arm right here sticking out and a little bit of that side of the head. I don't remember if I cut any part of the head before, but so are you guys excited about this new catalog? I think it's a fabulous catalog. I think there's some in there for everybody. All right, that looks good. Now, this time I'm actually going to stamp a little sentiment on here. So I got a sentiment from this Words for the Season, and this goes with a label kind of set. It's from the Traditions of Christmas. Oh no, it's not. It's its own little stamp set, and this is the one that has the words that say like Merry Christmas, big words that you could, that are dies. So this one says, may the magic of Christmas fill each corner of your home and heart. And I'm going to stamp it on this little guy and hope that we get a good coverage. I think I'm just going to stamp one over here since I haven't stamped it before. Because otherwise we got to cut out some more little guys. I got a little bit down here that I don't want. So if I find that I'm getting that every time I stamp this stamp, I will come in and trim off a little bit of that red rubber. Now you guys know that we're about to not have red rubber anymore. So after this catalog, the red rubber is going away. That was one of the new announcements that Stampin' Up! Made a week or two ago. So you red rubber fans, sorry, but you photopolymer fans will be happy. Everything will be in photopolymer, and some people really like that because then they can see what they're doing a little bit easier. And you can see how, you know, I cut a little bit of that away. And now when you close this up, you don't see our little man so much. Okay, so let's talk about this little gingerbread man. I decided I wanted to make this one a gingerbread woman. So here was my idea of how to make her a gingerbread woman, because I noticed this when I was cutting out cone flowers for a class, that this kind of looks like a skirt. So I thought it would be really cute if our gingerbread woman had a skirt. So she can have a pink skirt. Actually, let's put the rest of this together and then we'll see how she looks on it. So this is our just quarter sheet, so it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I have a little piece that's 2 by 4 3/4 of garden green, and that other piece of the tags and more paper. So let's put those down and then we'll see and choose a color, or maybe 2 colors, not sure, of what looks best on our gingerbread woman, because I just thought it would be so fun if we had a gingerbread woman and not just a gingerbread man. All right, so here's our little gingerbread woman, and we can put her in pink. We could put her in red. Remember, she's going to have a red hat. I don't know if she'll have a scarf, but she's going to have a red hat. Or we can put her in the green. I'm kind of liking the green. Let's see if we could, I suppose we could do a little of both, but let's see what happens. I'm going to cut these off because we don't need that. All right. So let's see. I'm thinking I want a green little guy here. And then I have a couple little pieces that I could do a little red. Kind of looks like a hula skirt to me, but heck. Or I could just do all green. Or I could do red and green, something like that. Oh, that's cute. Doesn't look as hula-y when you get the red and the green. All right, I like that. Does everybody else like that? I think that's kind of adorable. And does she really need, or is it too much to have a scarf? I think that's a little too much. And she can have green or red. Let's go with green. Okay. So let's first, I'm going to take these little guys and let them stick up a little bit. This is so fun. Okay, so I'm going to put the green on top. I'm just going to stick it a little bit down, give it something to stick to. There we go. And then I'm going to stick this on top. I don't know, this just made me laugh when I thought about it. You guys might think I'm crazy. Maybe I just want to go back to Hawaii. And then this could just sit right there, and I thought, or maybe down a little bit more. Maybe like that. I think I'm going to try to cut this off a little bit. That might be hard since I already stuck it down, but we're going to give it a try. Maybe it doesn't need to be quite this thick. This was just 1/2 inch, so let's, was it? Yeah, so let's cut it down to 1/4 inch. Then I'll probably have to still cut some off the sides. As you can tell, I didn't really make this yet as a girl. I thought we'd just do it together. All right, that's better. And then I'll just cut a little bit down on the sides. There we go. And now we have a gingerbread woman. And whoops, oh, that's the other little piece. Gingerbread woman, here we come. What do you guys think? Do you think I'm nuts to make a gingerbread woman out of cone flour? There we go. I thought it was creative too. Okay, and now we've got our other little, we'll put the little hat on her, and then we've also got, like I said, I think this is going to be a little too much because I think I'd rather have the little peppermint buttons. But then I've got the candy cane. I just want to show you something on the candy cane. When you cut it out, it actually comes like this, all in one. So what you have to do is you have to cut a set of white ones and then a set of red ones to get it like that. And then we'll just put a little teeny bit of glue all the way around here. Just little tiny dots, because you know this glue is so good that you just don't need a whole lot gushing out everywhere. Or you could cut this with an adhesive sheet and then you don't have to worry about glue gushing. All right. And then the other thing I want to do, if you notice, our little gingerbread man, his hat has a little white pom-pom. So the way that we're going to get that white pom-pom is we're going to take the hat and we're just going to run it through with just the pom-pom on there. So let's get our cut and emboss machine up here. I don't know where my plates are for my mini, or this would be a good job for the mini, wouldn't it? And then, like I said, all we're going to do is cut this little teeny bit that is our pom-pom. And I'm cutting, I think, a little bit more, but that's okay because then we can just cut off what is not needed. All right, there's our little hat. Come on, little hat. All right, so we just have that little teeny piece of pom-pom. And we don't need, let's let's see, it'll fit on there. So what we don't want is these last two little pieces here that really aren't part of the pom-pom. It's really more part of the hat. So we'll just cut those off. I don't know if I want to cut a little more across off. Yeah. That looks good. All right, just the teeniest little piece of little bit of glue on there. And then I can't unsee that this is a Hawaiian gingerbread man, but that's okay, right? Any of you been to Hawaii? It's beautiful. All right, and then I'm going to stick a whole bunch of dimensionals on the back of our little gingerbread woman so that she will have a little dimension here. And then we'll stick her on the back of on the front of our card. I'm waiting to stick the candy cane on until I see placement because I don't want it to hang over the side. So if you're wondering why I haven't stuck that on. Don't want her little hat being too far up there either. And then we'll stick this on here, just a little bit of glue there and a little bit of glue up here at the top. Want it in a little bit because you got to make sure that this can still open. Okay, and last but not least, we have our little baby peppermints. Do you guys remember these peppermints from last year? They sold out a bazillion times, so don't let that happen to you. Get some peppermints now. I know everybody thinks it's a little too early in September to be thinking about Christmas. Oh, I think is that one bigger than the other one? Maybe? I don't know. But like I said, they kept selling out last year, and you don't want that to happen. So if you want any of these peppermints, get them now, because I guarantee you that they will sell out again this year because they are so cute. So, what do you think? Peppermint or gingerbread man or gingerbread woman? You can have your choice. Do we have a vote for which one is? Roz, you said it's a little hard to see. What's hard to see? The candy cane blends in, or the skirt blends in? I'm not sure which you were talking about. She needs a coconut bra. That would be pretty funny, but I'm not sure that I can pull that off. I could probably turn one of these peppermints into a little coconut bra, but we'll see. I'm gonna leave that for you, Roz. You get to make that a coconut bra and see if that works. I'm holding them up a little bit because for some reason my lighting here is not great. But hey, Lynn, thanks for watching. I think you turned into this a little bit late because we're done making our little gingerbread woman. But go back and watch the replay. So you guys, Facebook is actually deleting all of our lives after 30 days. So if you want to go back and watch something older, you'll have to go to YouTube. I upload them all to YouTube, Stamp with Dr. Robin. And they'll all be there, all my lives, going back like 4 years worth of lives, I think. And then if you want written instructions, I always put this on my blog sometime later today, stampwithdrrobin.blogspot.com, and you can see all the written instructions and the measurements and everything if you didn't quite catch it as we were doing it. So thanks everybody for watching, and next week my daughter and grandson are visiting, so we'll probably be out and about Monday at 1. I'm going to try to find another time, so I will post when that's going to be next week. So take care, everybody, and have a good rest of your week. Let me know if you need anything from Stampin' Up. Bye-bye.